Hello, people from Gunner Station. John here. Right now I'm home, and I'm going to try to make this more concrete video about what happened with Mauricio Pochettino. So probably all of you guys know Mauricio Pochettino got sacked from Tottenham Hotspur and the Spuds. And but seriously, what I think about this, I think that they shouldn't have sacked him. But it's not the club I support, so I really don't care about them. I think Mauricio Pochettino, in my opinion, if he really got sacked, because don't forget, some reports say that Mauricio Pochettino wanted to leave, and a lot of us know that Mauricio Pochettino was also frustrated with the board of Tottenham Hotspur for not giving him money. So, for example, he was 2 seasons without spending any money. It really surprises me. And it doesn't surprise me because he's a good coach, so it doesn't surprise me. But he was 2 windows without getting any player, and he still did great for them. Like I think he's basically like, as I said, that coach, the manager slash scout for the club. Kind of similar to Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. It's really similar for me. Like he goes to the club and he gets the player that he wants. He makes sure if the player is tactically ready to play for the team, because at Atletico Madrid, for example, if you want to be a player of Atletico Madrid, a starter, you have to run up and down the pitch every time. So most of our players, of course, wouldn't make to Atletico Madrid squad, because even if they were good enough, but they're lazy. I think that Lacazette, his work rate is pretty good, which is why also Atletico Madrid wanted Lacazette. But it's not about Atletico. I think Martinelli would also make there. But it's about what's going on. I think that some reports, as I said, say that Mauricio Pochettino, he wanted to leave. Well, if that's the option, I think Mauricio Pochettino is going to Bayern, and since they sacked Niko Kovac, and I hope to God Niko Kovac does not come to Arsenal, because he's kind of similar to that Emery situation in my vision. I think that he coached Eintracht Frankfurt, and then he won the Pokal Cup, which is like a FA Cup but in Germany. He beat Bayern. He beat Bayern with his Frankfurt squad, and he got the Bayern job when Jupp Heynckes left. So I think that he's kind of that similar manager to Emery. He was managing a smaller club, and then he won a title, and then he went to a big club to try to prove himself. And that's not what happened to Niko Kovac, and that's not what's happening with Unai Emery. Everybody knows. I really think that Arsenal is gonna be the last big club that Unai Emery manages in his career. I think from here to the future, Unai Emery is gonna, like, after Arsenal. I think that Unai Emery is going to a smaller club, a club like Valencia, Sevilla, that type of club. Some people don't know that Unai Emery also coached in Russia, and he used to coach Spartak Moscow. Spartak Moscow, for those who know, a lot of you guys know, a lot of you guys don't know. It's a big club in Russia. It's a huge club in Russia. They're always fighting with CSKA, CSKA, as whatever you guys call it. Sorry for the pronunciation, guys. Also, Zenit, of course, Zenit and Spartak. Those three are always fighting. Sometimes Krasnodar too. It's a club that also fights for that top four. And Unai Emery, when he was a Spartak Moscow, for those who don't know, he also coached in Russia. He did not do a good job. He almost got Spartak Moscow in relegation. That's how bad his job was in Russia. And yeah, just telling, because a lot of people don't know that he went to Russia, and he did not do a good job there. He did a terrible job there. Also, but I think Pochettino, I think if he went to Arsenal, he would not be my first option. I think my first option would still be Mourinho. I think that if you compare both of them, you may have a point when you say about titles. titles. Mourinho won a lot of titles. He was the first Manchester United manager to have a title in his first season in the history of Manchester United. And also, don't forget, he won 3 titles with Manchester United in his first season. So he didn't only just win one to break the record. He won 3. He won the Europa League, of course, with Manchester United 2017 against Ajax. He also won the EFL Cup, and he won the Community Shield. And so 3 titles in his first season, nothing really bad. Some people say, oh, he's a defensive manager. Well, he's not a defensive manager, yeah, is he? He went to Real Madrid, and they had one of the best attacks in the history, and that was not the BBC. That was not Cristiano, Bale, and Benzema, because Bale wasn't even there. And I don't even think Real Madrid had a great squad when Mourinho was there. For example, Lasagna Diarra, which was never a great player, was their number 10, for example. And of course, Cristiano was there. And of course, it was not a great job for Mourinho. But still, I think he's a top manager. And I think that Mauricio Pochettino, I don't think he's ready for that big club yet. I think he's ready for the next step. But it could be Arsenal, yeah, but I don't know if it would go from Tottenham straight to Arsenal, like right after. I don't think that would happen. I don't think he would do that. Maybe if he was like angry and try to prove Tottenham wrong, and then he would just go to Arsenal and be like, you guys sacked me, didn't you? You should have kept me. But I went to your rival and won titles with him, which is something you wanted. Well, the only title Mauricio Pochettino won with Tottenham was the Audi Cup, of course, and of course not a lot of signings. I think Mourinho, honestly, he's also linked with Tottenham since they sacked Pochettino. But Tottenham, if you guys know, they're bored. They do not spend a lot of money. They don't. Not at all. And Mourinho is a guy, he likes going to a club, and if the club is new, he's usually gonna spend a lot of money, which is nothing bad, because Mourinho, at least he spends the money, but he wins. He brings the titles to the club. This is what he does. This is what he does with every club. Every club Mourinho's been to, he's win a title. Doesn't matter if the title wasn't big enough for the club. For example, at Real Madrid, when he won the La Liga only, he didn't win a Champions League. But still, he won a title every club he's been to. He won the title at Porto, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Chelsea. He's second time at Chelsea, Manchester United. Every club he's been to, he's won a title. And I'm pretty sure if he goes to Tottenham, their level's going to go up, because it's going to change the mentality. It's going to be Mourinho, and like no one there is gonna, everybody there is gonna respect him, because come on, it's Jose Mourinho, like his inspiration to everybody. Everybody who plays under Jose Mourinho will respect him. Of course, I don't think a lot of people will for example tell their children, I played under Unai Emery. I don't think a lot of people will do that. But it's just my opinion. It's just what I think. But you would certainly do it with Jose Mourinho. I think that today, if you compare Pochettino with Mourinho, I think, of course, today Pochettino's been better, but Mourinho hasn't even been at the club. And Manchester United, let's be honest, that club was not great. Of course, they did not have a good defense. Their midfield was, it was okay. And their attack was... It was okay also. He does play youth. Don't forget that. I'm not sure if Marcus Rashford... No, Marcus Rashford did not start with Mourinho. Marcus Rashford started with Van Gaal. And I'm pretty sure about that. Mourinho also had... I don't think he liked Memphis Depay a lot. That's why they sold Memphis Depay. But it's all about titles. It doesn't matter. Like, if you don't respect... And if you don't respect Jose Mourinho in the squad, it doesn't matter who you are. Jose Mourinho... If Jose Mourinho would come to Arsenal, he would be bigger than any player. Like, it's not like Arsenal, where well, Aubameyang, he can literally, I think, if it happens, he can get against Emery and of course talk so many things, so many bad things about him. And honestly, he is, as a player and as a coach, I think Aubameyang has more history than Unai Emery. Doesn't matter if he won the three Europa Leagues. I think Aubameyang has been a world class player. Um and I also, oh, I'm sorry. And I also think that if Mourinho comes to Arsenal, no player is gonna go up to him and try to disrespect him. For example, Unai Emery, we heard that thing with the young guys, the young players at Arsenal. They were mocking Unai Emery for his accent, the good evening, the famous good evening. If it was a manager like Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, you think they would have done that? They would never do that, even if they couldn't speak the language. They would not do that. Even if it was Antonio Conte, for example, they would not do that. They would not do that because of the curriculum of the manager. If the manager has the respect, the inspiration, he gives inspiration to the players. The first day Mourinho comes to Arsenal, before the first training, the players are already gonna feel the different environment of Jose Mourinho. This is what I think. Well, let me know what you guys think. I also think that Mauricio Pochettino would be a good coach for Arsenal. I don't know if he would be that coach too. Of course, it would be better than Emery for sure, for damn sure. But I don't know. He hasn't proved himself. For example, when you're in a final, for example, of course, he's been to a final in the Champions League, but he hasn't won really anything, and it's Arsenal. We don't want to be runners up of something. That happened in the Europa League already, and we don't like it. Didn't like it to lose against Chelsea, against a team that had Sarri with them. Um, but this is what I think, guys. My throat is already starting to hurt again. I am really sick this week, last week. That's why I didn't make enough videos. But thank you so much. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much. Come on, you Gunners.